Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and having a good day here in the Middle Tennessee. It's just another bright and sunny day with very few clouds in the sky, and I think it's great. Do you like my t-shirt? Let me back up so you can see it. It says, "You can't tell me what to do. You're not my granddaughter." So if you're a grandparent, you probably get the joke behind that. But all laughing aside, I do want to talk about something again going on in our society that I think that we need to be aware of, and as Christians find a more reasonable way to address some of these things. But Saturday, October 18th, is another No Kings rally across the United States. The previous one was held in June, and hundreds and hundreds of cities across the state had these rallies back then with millions, multiple millions of people. Some people say that overall in all the cities, it was the largest single day protest any time in United States history. And so they're going to repeat that November the 18th. And the backlash from the conservative right is just so ridiculous about the No Kings protest. They're calling it violent, which is anything but the truth. Here, I want to read you something now. In the June rally, unfortunately, with hundreds and hundreds of cities and millions of people, there were a few incidences of reported violence. And in Salt Lake City, Utah, one person actually did die suffering from a gunshot wound. And so those are horrible. One death is too many. But probably out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cities that had these protests, less than 12 reported any violence. And so we condemn the violence that happened. We condemned all violence, just like we condemn the violence against Charlie Kirk. All violence we condemn. But to say that the whole No Kings rally is violent is just not accurate. In fact, here are some things that some people said at the end of the rally in June. The San Diego Police Department released this statement. It said, "You stayed classy, San Diego. Thank you for the thousands who demonstrated peacefully today. No arrest and no incidents in San Diego." The Chicago Police Department, after that rally in June, said this. A superintendent of the department said this. "What I saw from the start was a bunch of people that came out here to exercise their First Amendment right. They were very peaceful, very complimentary of the officers." That's Chicago, a place that is a war zone, according to President Trump. And then one more. This is from a Republican congressperson in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And she wrote this. "We ran into the first No Kings protest in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It is peaceful so far. Police officers are present. Traffic is slow." And so overall, the rally was peaceful. I know here in Middle Tennessee and Nashville, it was very peaceful. No problems whatsoever after tens of thousands of people showed up for that. And now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's obvious that it was peaceful, but key Republicans are trying to make this into something that it is not. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said that this is not a No Kings rally. Rather, he calls it a Hate America rally. Now, get that. Millions of people are going to rally Saturday using their freedom of speech because they love this country. And Mike Johnson says it's a Hate America rally. Nothing could be further from the truth. People who will protest Saturday love this country. That is why they are protesting. They love America. They just hate what's going on in America right now from this present administration, where they're slashing things, they're hurting people, and they're making up lies, and they're arresting and disappearing people for no other reason than the color of their skin. Some of us see this country headed toward authoritarianism. And so we're losing our democracy. And that's why we are saying no kings. We are a representative republic. One person should not have all the power, even though Stephen Miller said that President Trump should have plenary power, which means all power. No kings. That's what this rally is about. Ted Cruz recently said about the rally coming this Saturday that it is violent and it might lead to riots. And then he accused the people who are protesting as being paid and Soros being the one who's financing all of this stuff. Again, all without proof. It is simply a way to try to quiet you and a way to try to gaslight you and a way to try to take your First Amendment rights away. Now, Mike Johnson said that the people at this rally are Antifa members, as well as Marxists and communists. But he used that word Antifa, which has been all over the news lately, where the administration wants to start arresting people who are associated with Antifa. A couple things about that. I'm sure you know that Antifa is short for anti-fascist. And so in reality, every U.S. citizen should be Antifa. We fought a world war, World War II, against fascism. And so to be Antifa means that you are pro-democracy. But then there's no group called Antifa. Antifa is an ideology, it's a philosophy. There's not an Antifa membership, there's not an Antifa group. And so they're just making up a boogeyman to go after. When in reality, again, Antifa simply means anti-fascist. And if you love democracy, you should be anti-fascist. But again, all this is an attack on the freedom of speech. I mean, Secretary of Defense Hegseth has recently said that if you want to report on the Pentagon, you have to fill out a report that basically you can only report on what the Pentagon says you can report on. And thankfully, most of the major news organizations said we're just going to leave. All of this is an attack on our First Amendment. And let me tell you something, our founding fathers put the First Amendment first, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, put that first for a very good reason. The First Amendment, in my opinion, is equal, if not more important, than the Second Amendment. But it seems like the people who love the Second Amendment don't say anything about the loss of the First Amendment that we are experiencing. All of this, again, from this administration is just made up lies to try to get you afraid to speak out against the immorality and the corruption that we all see going on in our government. I want to leave you with these words from the prophet Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 5, verses 18 through 23, the prophet writes, and this is from the Message version of the Bible. The prophet writes, "Doom to you who use lies to sell evil, who haul sin to market by the truckload, who say, 'What's God waiting for? Let him get a move on so we can see it. Whatever the Holy of Israel has cooked up, we'd like to check it out.' Doom to you who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness in place of light and light in place of darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Doom to you who think you're so smart, who hold such a high opinion of yourselves. All you're good at is drinking, champion boozers who collect trophies for drinking bouts, and then line your pockets with bribes from the guilty while you violate the rights of the innocent." Think about that. And if you can, go to a No Kings rally this Saturday, October 18th.